Hello.
Hey guys.
Hey everybody. So
welcome to our YouTube channel, Empower El Mundo. We're so thankful that you guys are able to spend some time with us talking about habits today.
yes, so that is what we're going to expand a little bit more on, is what is a habit? What is a routine? A habit is something that we all have daily and we all practice daily. Sometimes we have habits that we don't know if they're even serving the purpose that they started serving in the beginning, which is why we developed it, right?
Yeah, so habits can be healthy and unhealthy depending on how we use them. And something that people tend to ask us a lot about is what's the difference between a habit and a routine? So a habit is a behavior that you actually engage in on a daily or regular basis, and a routine is where you implement the habit to ensure that you're doing it on a regular basis.
So it's more of the structure,
part
of your day.
It helps you make sure that you're carrying out these habits for, in the time frame, the goal that you want to reach for is doing it for about 30 days. Then it starts getting easier to actually make sure that you're doing that habit on a regular basis. Like when Deanna and I used to be basketball players in college, we had to really implement new habits in a quick way over a short amount of time.
Yes. So with that being said, because it's really important for us to have habits that meet a couple of different areas of us as an individual. So having habits that pour into our spiritual connections, our emotional connection to ourselves first, our intellectual connection, and then also our physical connection. So our mind-body experience, essentially. So something that we talked a little bit about, it's easy for us to start a habit and then it become part of our routine. And it doesn't always mean that it's healthy for us. Sometimes those habits that we start off, it can be an unhealthy habit.
So classic one, sleeping in those extra 5 minutes turns into 15, which turns into 30, right? Or taking the extra 5 minutes to walk into work knowing that you're already 5 minutes late, then it turns into 10, turns into 15. So just being mindful that even those little habits that you're just starting to pick up can be something that's not really effective or healthy for you in the long run.
And what I think about too is, because those are the 4 different areas that we tend to practice different behaviors in order to make sure that we're okay. So like for instance, I can use myself as an example, like a way that I develop like an unhealthy habit for like feeding into my spiritual part is like not spending time meditating, or
me time,
connecting to that higher power, right? And it's really easy to say, okay, I'm gonna really spend 5 minutes every morning and just meditate, connect to that higher power, and then after day 2, I'm like, I don't want to do it. I want to sleep in, like you said. So, and then it's like, oh, slept in day 2, 3, 4, so it can easily spiral. And same thing goes
with working out. That's probably the most classic thing that most individuals can relate to. Starting a workout for maybe a couple days and then using those permission statements to get out of the workout, right? So my permission statement is...
Well, what is a permission statement?
Oh, a permission statement is something that we say to ourselves to give us permission to not do something or to avoid it, right?
We all have those.
We all have it. We all have it. Some of us don't. We just don't realize that we're thinking or saying or behaving in a certain type of way until somebody else points it out for us. And that's a good thing. We want people that we trust and that are valuable to our health to point out those things that we're doing. But my permission statement, especially with working out or exercises, is it's okay to have just a little bit of ice cream. Just a little bit. And so, you know, when you're talking about diet, it's always in moderation. And with behaviors, you want to do healthy behaviors. You want to make sure you're doing healthy behaviors on a consistent basis. And with your unhealthy behaviors, you want to look at them to determine, is it helpful or is it hurtful? And I know Deanna had some really good ways of assessing, is this a healthy behavior?
Well, really quick, so your permission statement is, I can have this ice cream because I worked out, right? Like it's like, oh, if I work out in the morning, at night, that means I can have a gallon of ice cream. Why not?
Why
Honestly,
not?
I'm definitely there sometimes.
A little bit of cake batter, a little bit of cookie dough, Reese's Pieces, Oreos, caramel.
Okay. All right. We've got flavors over here. 31 flavors.
Man.
So some other, if you're not sure if a habit that you are practicing is serving you in the right way, there's 3 questions that you can ask yourself. very simple questions. The first one is, what is this habit's purpose? What is its purpose? Right? We always start a habit because we need it to help fix something, or we need it to take care of an issue that we have, right? So sometimes we have habits that are unhealthy. Let's go into like practicing like smoking for instance. That's a huge addiction that is very difficult to break, right? But typically people go to smoking because there's an emotional part of it that we need to help tend to, or we start socially, right? But over time it becomes a habit and it no longer is social, right? And then it becomes like a motor skill that your body remembers. So is it still helpful? Is it still meeting its purpose of it being social, or is it now not suiting that purpose of it just being a couple of times a month, or you know what I'm saying? If it's taken in moderation. The second question is that purpose still adding value to my life?
Powerful question.
And if it's a yes or maybe no, if we're not sure,
that means it's no longer serving its purpose. It's not adding that value. And those are those tough questions that we have to ask ourselves in order for us to get to a life that's more fulfilling, more satisfying, and successful.
Yes.
We have to be honest and say, this is no longer helpful for me, and make those tough changes.
And if we're not sure if the answer is yes or no, it's probably no. It's no longer helpful for you. It's no longer meeting that same purpose. The third question is there something else that I can do that will add value and allow me to evolve?
Yes.
Right? So what is its purpose? Is it still meeting that purpose in my life? Is there something else that I can do that's going to allow me to change and evolve?
Ooh, powerful questions.
Yes.
And with that, make sure that you guys are taking some time out to really ask yourself, do some introspective work, right? Which means that you're sitting with yourself, you have that me time, and you're asking those tough questions to really get to know yourself better.
Yeah.
Okay? Make those good decisions. Start working on those healthier habits and breaking those bad habits.
And healthier habits, if we're taking a bad habit out, we always have to substitute it, right? So feed into your spiritual connection, intellectual connection, emotional connection, and physical connection.
That's right. That's right, guys. So hopefully you like this segment of our Empower El Mundo. Again, this is our platform for mental health providers to share their testimony or their experiences, their expertise about mental health so that they can spread awareness, and also for individuals to share their story about recovery, what it looked like for them, and giving their testimony about mental health, because we are your advocates. We're here to empower you. So always remember,
be empowered.
Live empowered.